Listen to this shit.
So why did you kill my teacher then? Why did you kill my teacher?
That's one of the Tuma drops here. I don't know who put that shit in the system.
Why did you kill my teacher?
All right. Ready to talk some shit?
Yeah, man.
Yeah?
Let's go.
Hey, man. Eventful week. But before we start with the week, Saturday, we went to a party. Yeah, JJ's birthday party.
Oh, yeah, JJ.
Yeah, shout out to JJ. Welcome to Raw Conversations with Chromez and Fanatik, first of all. Shout out to everybody that's been listening from episode 1.
You've been rocking with us.
Yeah, man, we appreciate it.
We appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, a lot of you binging on the last episodes because you know this shit is dope.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
And that's the thing. So it's like, that's amazing thing. It's like how people continuously go back to the older episodes.
Yeah.
You know? Somebody was actually telling me, it's like, yo, I just listened to episode 6. Please send me the links to all the others. And I was like, cool.
Straight, we could do
that.
So
I have to say shout out to Mwila. Mwila is in New York, Mwila Nkazi, to be specific, because a whole bunch of Mwilas who get excited. So Mwila Nkazi, big shout out to you. Thank you very much for listening to the podcast. Appreciate it. She's in New York.
Yeah, shout out to you, Mwila. The specific Mwila that we're talking about.
And other Mwilas in the whole wide world. I feel like Mwilas need a lot of love.
Yeah. I dated a Mwila once.
You dated a Mwila?
I did.
You have a Mwila in your life?
Yeah.
There you go.
She had a fat ass.
Yeah, there's that Mwila who doesn't like you and you don't like too much.
Which one? Oh, yeah.
But it's all good.
It's all good, man. It's all love, you know what I mean?
It's all love at the end of the day.
Respect should be upheld at all times. We must respect each other in the industry. You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
So going back to Saturday, we at this party and JJ's birthday party.
JJ's birthday party.
Yeah, shout out to JJ.
Shout out.
So we're chilling, and then the aux cord starts going around. And then I play the Maestro record, which is the one with Wizkid.
Yeah.
Immediately, the one that has Kanye dancing his ass off and shit.
Yeah.
And then all of you guys start calling me a hype beast because you think I like the record just because Kanye was dancing to it in the video.
Yes.
Why? It's a great song. It's a great song. Like I was listening to it this morning, all week, in fact.
All week.
Yeah.
But you have a tendency to do that, though.
What you mean?
To listen to a song over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. So like even the songs that are not that good sound good to you.
Nah.
I'm telling you, like that's
that.
For real.
No.
Look,
the only way I'm gonna listen to a track back to back is if it's good the first time I listen to it.
Really?
Yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? So I know what you're trying to say. It's like, programming. It's like something that's not good will end up not sounding good. But you've never really listened to that song.
No, I haven't.
Yeah. So what the fuck?
So it's garbage. I mean, I thought that was. We don't do that.
These niggas, man.
I mean, you've trashed AKA's album.
I haven't trashed his album. You need to stop saying that because I'm not trashing AKA's album. I'm just saying you can't call it a classic 2 months after it drops.
Yeah, we've had this conversation
already. Yeah, that's some bullshit.
It's boring.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do a Chromez right now and call that song trash.
Really? I do that a lot? I don't.
Yeah.
Shout out to K Slayer.
Shout out to K Slayer, man.
Yeah, so explain how this email came about.
Yeah, so K Slayer sent me an email and
we talked about him on the podcast.
We talked about him on the podcast, basically. K Slayer, part of the Kicks, T Gang right now.
Yeah.
One of the hottest EPs right now.
Yeah.
Out right now. Get it if you haven't gotten it yet. So I got an email after K Slayer listened to the podcast. All right. And he was just basically, because we talked at length.
Yeah.
About K Slayer and music and all of that and his...
Yeah, we're basically talking about how K Slayer matches up to Jedi, who is his cohort or whatever, in the group, the Kicks and stuff. So
that's his broski.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he said in the email, and I quote, "What's good, fam? Hope you're well. Just listened to the podcast and Chromez was wildin'. LOL. But I respect his opinion and I feel like I needed to hear that. Also, thanks for holding it down for the boy. More work is coming. Really dope podcast. We need more of that. Since he hasn't heard any of my material, I just attached a couple of songs. So yeah,
I respect that, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to K Slayer.
Yeah,
I appreciate you.
He wasn't bitching.
Yeah, no, I know some other niggas.
That about me.
I know. Right?
How dare you?
How dare you? You don't have the right to check me.
So
who do you think you are in the culture?
So very, very big shout out to K Slayer, man. Thank you very much for coming, and being mature about it, being
But
so, like. I wouldn't expect anything less, because it's like these are people who understand the culture, understand what's going on right now.
Yeah.
People who don't understand and don't get it, don't understand criticism. It's like, how can you be saying those things about me? Things like that.
I mean, when you listen closely to last week's podcast, I don't think I trashed him at all.
No,
it's
you didn't.
I said he's a great rapper, but I was matching him up to his friend, who, like, even this, and I listened to the Kicks mixtape again, and he's got some dope bars, but it's just Jedi just has it's like, I'll give you a perfect example. Listen to AKA and Anati's track, Don't Forget to Pray. AKA comes on and he's dropping crazy bars. It's nice, all right, but when Anati comes on, it's the vibe of the song just changes. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just amazing. You know what I mean?
Is it an Anati produced song?
Most likely. It sounded like his thing. Yeah. Okay. So, like, if you haven't heard the track, which is weird, but you can pause right now and search for AKA Anati, Don't Forget to Pray. And you get to catch what I was trying to relay, just to give you some context. Yeah. What else did we talk about in the past? I got trashed a lot for saying that, guys should go out there and fuck other girls' girlfriends, which is not what I was saying.
That's what you were saying.
No.
Keep the same energy, Chromez.
No, listen. Let me clarify what I was saying. All right? For the people who didn't get the point.
The context, maybe. Maybe the context was...
The context, we were speaking of it in the realm of marriage.
Yeah.
And I was talking about how heavy marriage is. I mentioned there's God involved, there's vows involved, there's a higher power. So, like, there, you don't want to mess around with married people.
Yeah, true.
But, like, it's less of a problem when you get involved in a situation with somebody's girlfriend.
Yeah.
These niggas break up all the time.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking. It wasn't, like, don't just pick up that one spot in the podcast and then judge the whole situation off of that.
That's what we do.
I gave you 2 hours of this shit. Like, you just chose those few minutes and ran with it.
That Chromez said, and they will quote you. They will quote you. It's like, Chromez said this. It's okay to sleep around with somebody's person as long as they're not married or engaged.
I just said engaged, and I did say once they get engaged.
Yes, that's what I said. I just said that.
What did you say?
I said Chromez said.
Anyway, fuck out of here. Shit. All right, so away from last week's podcast, let's get to the shits.
To this week, a lot of things have been happening.
What a week!
Yeah, it's been a hectic week. It's been a hectic week. Yeah. It's been hectic on all fronts, content-wise, and even for me personally. I mean, I was moving. It was. All of that, the craziness of moving. I hate moving. Yeah,
he's in the neighborhood now. We're neighbors.
Kawata, Dallas City. We're back in the... Yeah, I mean...
That just means I'm moving out. Fucking neighborhood. Because it's problems, you know what I mean?
Kawata is that X to me. Like, is that X with the big booty and the great brains.
No pun intended.
You can't forget about it. Like, yo, you just want to go back. It's like...
the great brains.
Yeah, you delete the number...
You still have it in your head.
You still have it in your head. It's like, damn, I wish. So it's crazy, man. That's what Kawata is. And I'm back in Kawata, and it feels so good, man. It feels so good. Yeah. But yeah, it's been a crazy week content-wise. A lot of things have been happening.
It started off with Wezzy. So Wezzy went on her Facebook, and for those that don't know, Wezzy is one of the best singers that we have in Zambia. I feel like Wezzy took up the space that Scarlett was occupying. Like after Scarlett sort of left, because they sort of had like sort of the same kind of vibe almost. So when Scarlett kind of left, she occupied that space. You know what I mean? It's sort of like when Biggie died, you know, B.I.G.
Yeah.
Jay-Z took up that sort of space that the man had. You know what I mean? It's kind of similar. It's like when somebody's occupying a certain energy.
It's a bit similar, yeah.
There's similarities.
There are similarities.
Yeah.
Even though they're extremely different.
They are. I mean, you could probably compare her more to a Maureen Lilanda type thing. You know what I mean? She's younger. Yeah. But Maureen is still out here doing her thing.
Yes.
But Maureen is not really appealing to the younger crowd. And,
no, not at all.
So Wezi is sort of like the child that's come through and taken that space.
Yeah, true.
But Scarlett was dominating for a long time. I wish she was still singing, but she's just like, fuck you niggas, I'm not doing this shit anymore. Which
I wonder why though.
We should.
I wonder why.
Would be nice to have her up here so we can have a conversation.
Because it's like she can't. I don't think she can use the my management excuse. Maybe her mom was a management, right?
Yeah.
Her mom was a manager, so
yeah.
Nobody gonna keep you on your toes like your mother.
Trash your mom.
No, she can't. That's what I'm saying. It's like she can't use that as an excuse to say it's like, you know, a lot of people use it. It's like, yo, management, the guys, you know, guys just want to sleep with me.
Yeah,
you know, all
that's
of that.
probably one of the reasons. There's a lot of pervs out here. We know about the stories.
But like, look, she has a filter. The filter is her manager. Her manager is her mother. Yeah. So it's like if you're gonna
put your penis back in your pants.
If you're gonna go through the mother, I don't know. If you're going through the mother, you're probably talking about marriage.
Yeah,
that's the conversation.
Oh, there you go.
You know, it's just like yes. So you like my daughter as well? It's just like okay, we'll talk about the business, but let's handle this. It's like so how do you like? It will be another conversation. It'll be crazy.
Straight.
But yeah, so I wonder why Scarlett is not singing anymore. You know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we need to have a conversation with her and find out. So, back to Wezi. So, Wezi put up a post, heartfelt post, you know, basically just highlighting the fact that there's a lot of women bashing among women themselves. Yeah. You know, it's like a lot, like she said, the majority of people that bash me because I'm wearing slippers and not fancy shoes, it's women. Yeah. You know, and I think we've mentioned something like this on the podcast. It's like women generally just don't like women.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, there's a few exceptions, you know, women who are able to just be like happy for other women who are winning. But generally, we see this, like even just day-to-day life. Yeah. Women just have problems with each other.
We don't get why.
So, my question is, Wezi is a celebrity. Yes. And with that comes certain responsibilities like taking care of your image. And we've seen Wezi sometimes just carefree. Yeah. Like, I love Wezi, by the way. All right, I don't want anybody to take this like people. Yeah, she's an amazing person.
Amazing human being.
She came through to the radio station one time looking like she just came out of the bed. Yeah. And it's like, you're at a radio station, you know what I mean? Like, you can meet anybody. Your fans could be here, like, you know, like your peers could be here too. Like, why show up like that? Yeah. Almost, you know, and in her post you could see it. She's like, I don't really give a fuck about all of this shit. Like, I'm just me. This is who I am. Yeah. So, is that okay? Is that okay for you to just be like, fuck you niggas, this is who I am, and y'all gotta get with it. I'm not gonna, you know, change who I am just because I'm Wezi and you niggas know who I am.
Look, one thing that I've always thought about, this is something I've always had in my head, you know. Keep in mind, if you are a Mumbayachi, right? If you're a Mumbayachi, and you rock up somewhere and you are weird, and it's fine to be weird. And for me, this has got nothing to do with male and female. All right? Yeah. Mumbayachi is, for lack of a better term, he's a weirdo. Yeah. He's a weirdo, and it's fine because that's his image, to be weird. to be as weird as he possibly can be, because that helps him trend. That gets him, when people talk about him, they don't even talk about even his music. Everything about Mumbayachi is weird. Because
his image is he's a villager.
Yes.
Listen to his music.
Listen to his music,
his lyrics.
all of that.
He was representing like the pain and the suffering of like the people in the village, but then also even just like the pleasures of being in that position, which is love and respect and all of that.
True, 100%.
Yeah.
So for me, if Wezi doesn't give me that vibe, doesn't give me, this is the type of image I'm trying to portray. She doesn't. You listen to her music, there's nothing that it's true, authentic, and it's something that's very in touch. Like, she's probably one of the people who's in touch with herself. She knows what she wants to do, and for me, it doesn't portray the image sometimes that she gives us.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It doesn't portray that. It's like when you listen to, go back, you know, if you've never listened to people like Miriam Makeba. She was very South African, very indigenous, very South African. And you looked at her image, and it was just that. Short hair, usually in traditional clothes and whatever, you know.
Yeah.
That's the image that she was trying to portray, and it wasn't, it was clean. It was appropriate for every event. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Joe Budden podcast, they called Fabulous one time when he was dressed in something weird, right? They called him, and the words that Joe used were, we're calling you about that outfit you wore at this and this place, and we were talking with the guys, and we think this is the first time you've slipped up in probably a decade.
Yeah, because Fab has kept it clean for a long time.
Yeah, Fabulous is, so like in terms of outfits, so think about it. How many times does Fabulous walk out of the door? How many times does he walk out of the door and he's meticulous about the way he's dressed? That's how important his image is. So for another rapper to even say, it's like, in 10 years, this is probably the only time you've been whacked.
Yeah,
10 years. Think about that. So that's how important. Yeah, that's how important image is.
Yeah,
and for me, it's like, look, number one, when Wezi showed up to that interview, she was in flip flops.
You were there?
No, I wasn't.
You weren't there?
No.
Oh, okay.
The interview that got her a lot of flack. The problem.
Okay. All right. I thought you were talking about the last.
No, not the last time.
When we were at the.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a couple of times looking, whatever. And for me, it was, you're standing next to Salma.
Yeah.
That was the other big problem. You're standing next to
Salma.
You know, you're standing next to Salma, and she is on point every single time.
Yeah.
On point every single time. So it's a bit of a problem, because she comes there and she looks like she's dressed for where she's going. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? And then you don't look like you're dressed for where you're going. You're going to an interview.
Yeah. It's huge.
It's huge. It's a big deal.
It's like, would Wezi show up like that to an interview at YFM in South Africa?
No, she wouldn't.
5FM in South Africa?
Because that would be ridiculous if she showed up like that.
Hot 97 in New York. Like,
yeah. Would you do it? If she would say she would do it, no problem, in a heartbeat, she would wake up and go in flip-flops to Hot 97, then that's a totally different situation. And we'll retract our statements and we'll be like, keep the same.
True.
You know
yeah. For real, though.
But if she wouldn't, then what business does she have going up to
if she knew that she's about to meet Lira at the radio station and they're going to do an interview together, would she go there in flip-flops?
Not at all.
I don't think so.
Not at all.
Queen Latifah or somebody, I don't know. If Tiwa Savage came through and you know y'all going to be on the same platform, are you going to dress up like that?
Not at all. Guys, look. Even for me, if I was going to meet an important, or I was going to welcome an important guest, it's like, I don't care if I don't have a suit in my wardrobe.
I do.
I don't have a suit in my wardrobe. You got suits. I don't. All right, because it's like I have a certain mind state around suits, and I know when I'm gonna wear a suit.
Yeah,
I know. I've had this conversation with my wife. It's like when I wear a suit, you know, you're gonna know. Yeah. So for me, it's one of those situations where even if I didn't have a suit and I was invited somewhere, if I was invited to State House, I would go borrow. I would borrow money to go and look a certain way at a certain place. It's like this Fanatic image that you see in casual clothes every time. It's like that's who I am. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is my image.
I respect that. I respect
you know?
that. Yeah.
But like when you're going to a certain event, when you're going to a certain place where you know, right now, radio stations, it's about imagery as well. Oh, we had this person on radio, and here's a picture.
Here's a picture.
Post it up on social media.
Instagram,
that's what it is. That's what they do. Yeah. That's how come you have to be on point every single time. I wake up at 4 in the morning, all right? Prior to this, sometimes I'd wake up and just go for work. Without taking a bath and be like, oh, I'll be done by
early.
By 9, I'll be home, and I'll take a bath. Yeah. But now, because there's cameras in the booth,
Mingletainment and all of that.
Yeah, mingletainment and all of that. It's like I can't afford to show up looking like trash. I have to bath and make sure I look on point and presentable and all of that every single time. No matter, even the guy who's coming on at midnight has to look on point.
Yeah.
Because of where you're going. Everybody.
Man, it's wild for you cats, man. Because niggas back in the day, they show up in like...
Not even back in the day. A couple of months ago, people would be like,
night dresses.
Yeah, there's like, I'd come in my pajamas. And they're saying that proudly. This is what, 6 months ago.
Oh, damn.
It's like I'd come in my pajamas for the breakfast show. And I'm like, oh, there you go.
Can't do that shit no more.
Can't do that shit no more.
So, Wesley, our message, I guess, let me speak on my behalf. I'm just saying, like, if that's who you are, if you are able to go wherever... What doesn't matter, whatever platform or person you're going to meet, and that's the image you are going to go forward with, then no problem. By
all means.
If the president calls for your presence and you go there with your flip-flops because that's who you are, then cool.
By all means.
Because Mumbayachi, that's his thing.
He could rock up like that.
He could rock up like that because everyone knows this is his thing. Pilato, that's his thing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So if that's how you're rolling, then cool.
Yeah. I mean, our very own Lord R.I.P, shout out Lord R.I.P, actually did something like that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Where he's like, yo, some guy gets a girl some flip-flops, and then she hits him with her shoe and is like, yo, who do you think I am, Wesley?
Yo, shout out to R.I.P, man. Shout out to R.I.P.
And she was he actually put it up on his status, and she was actually not mad about it.
Yeah, she actually put it up on her Instagram.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's cute. That's cute.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we respect
so
that.
Shout out to Wesley, man. Do your thing. Just, I don't know.
Just keep the same energy.
Keep the same energy.
That's what it is.
Or maybe don't.
What you mean?
Maybe don't. I'm just saying, like, look, if you're gonna get offended by what people are gonna say about you, because like I said last week, it's a competition. Who can say the meanest things? Who can say the meanest things ever?
Yeah,
right? It's a competition.
That's true. People are just out here like, yo, I'm trying to get reactions and all of that stuff. So that's what that is. So what else happened this week, man?
Exams were cancelled. Grade 7, grade 9, and grade 12. Exams were cancelled.
So this was because a math paper 2 leaked on social media. Which one is it? Grade 9?
Yeah.
The grade 9 paper leaked.
Yeah.
Now, this happens every year.
Yeah.
Every year, one or 2 or 3 papers leak.
No. A lot of papers leak.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
So I've never really understood that whole malpractice-free examination. And this year's like, no. Every year something leaks.
Yes.
I mean, I remember in my year, like completing, there was people walking out of exam rooms like super happy, like, yo, it was the one.
Yeah.
The one that we studied all night. It was the one.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yo, okay. Like almost like 3 or 4 papers.
Why leaked. That's why I'm getting surprised. It's like, why we so all of a sudden?
Like we didn't know.
Why we didn't know? We knew this is what happens. This is what happens. It happens every single year. I don't have evidence from all the parts of the country. I don't.
Yeah.
But the only year that I remember that exams didn't leak is when Brian Stewart was education minister.
Well, everybody's been saying that.
Yeah. And he actually said, it's like, look, if there's a paper that's going to leak, I'm going to resign. That's what he said. I remember that. If there's a paper that's going to leak, I will resign.
Made sure.
He made sure.
So he had put in place stringent measures to make sure that shit like that doesn't happen. So when a system works, how does that break then? Who breaks it? Is it the next person that comes into the office and messes it up?
It's probably somebody who doesn't care as much. Somebody who doesn't care as much. That's what I think. You know,
the person that probably also used.
Yeah. Because if you tell if you tell somebody, it's like, look, those papers are done and whatever it is, and there's somebody responsible. There's just like, oh, okay, look, this papers. Oh yeah. Chromez is responsible for these papers. Oh, these are the grade 7 science. So if science leaks, you're responsible for it.
There you go.
Then why do you still have your job?
Why not do that?
Why not do that?
Because
so you don't even have to go as far as say lose your job. So like, look, if there's a paper that leaks that you are under or that you are overseeing, you won't get paid for the next 2 months.
Yeah, there you go.
You won't get paid. You will not get your salary.
Touch somebody's money, they start acting right.
They start acting right. If you did something like that, trust and believe, if Brian Stewart did it, what's so difficult about the others keeping the same energy and doing the same thing?
Yeah. And then now people are trying to tie it into like the Ziale thing. It's like, maybe the reason why there's not so many people passing these exams to get into the bar is like maybe where the foundation is kind of shaky. But it's kind of wild. Like this year, only 4 people passed.
4 people passed out of 384.
And they said like
1%. 1%.
Bruh. And they were saying like not too long ago there was the same exam. There was like over 300 people that passed it the last time. So it's like, what happened between then and now?
Look, there was somebody who took the bar exam, or she had been taking it a lot of times, and she was failing one paper, all right, or something, and then she kept on clearing slowly, but she cleared, and I think last year she finally cleared, and she was admitted to the bar, all right. So what she said was like, look, because she's Christian, and she was saying, it's like, look, there was one person, at ZL who was just like super difficult. It's like, yo, this person was seen as a problem, right?
Okay.
So she was like, I'm gonna pray about it, and then she prayed about it, and then that same individual was actually found with ZL students at some Chisamba hotel.
Was he fucking?
No, he wasn't fucking though. He was actually sharing liquor checks.
Oh, there we go.
Right? So he was found and he was gotten rid of.
Wow.
And then the very next year, that's how come you had, boom, a whole bunch of people passed.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So I don't know, because it's almost like a lot of people passed, and then all of a sudden it's like the lawyers were like, yo, if this same amount of people pass next year and the other year and the other year,
we'll have too many people.
We'll have too many people practicing law.
Yeah. And then
that's what I think.
And then it actually makes it look like, I don't know, your exams are too easy or something. It's like, you need to... Yeah. It kind of looks more prestigious when like, yo, over 300 people took this test and only 4 people passed. Like, But then back to the exams, the grade 9, 7, 9, and 12 exams. It's like, isn't that like too much of an extreme measure? Because you only have evidence of one paper leaking, and you don't have evidence of the other papers for the other grades. Yeah, like I would understand if you temporarily suspend the grade 9 exams because there's some infringements here and there. I mean, some. I don't know.
Malpractice.
Malpractice, yeah, that's the better word. Some malpractice here and there. And you want to make sure that you clean that up. But, like, why are you canceling out the other ones when you have no evidence.
Yo.
No, like who has a leakage for grade 7?
Like, that's
like if you need a leakage for grade 7, motherfucker only taking you back to grade 5. Like, fuck you.
Like, no.
Nah, bro.
Look.
Nah, the answer is right there.
7. Grade 7 is man.
Oh, no,
You cannot have a leakage for grade 7. Even grade 9, fam. All you have to do is study. All you have to do is study.
Bro, all the exams.
All the exams, you know. Yeah, you might be like, it starts getting a bit complicated, obviously, in grade 12 and whatever it is, you know. You know, the people who took things like additional mathematics or whatever it is. You know, the pure sciences.
I didn't fuck with
all
that.
of that. Yeah. It might get a bit complicated for people like that.
Yeah.
Okay? But the thing is, it's like you don't need a leakage for grade 7.
No,
so for me,
like, leave grade 7 out of this.
Because now, even when I look at a grade 7, it's like, what on earth are you going to be doing, running around looking for a leakage? Do you even know what a leakage is?
Those are one of the words that the teachers didn't teach you how to spell.
No.
Okay?
Leakage. Spell leakage.
It's like, no, that's not happening in any school, bro.
Like, unless...
No, you gotta be some type of serious dumb to want a grade 7 leakage. So, I don't get it. It's like,
get it too.
you have evidence of one paper leaking. And the minister said this.
Yeah.
It's like, we only have evidence of this leaking, but we're suspending all of them because we don't know the extent of the leakage.
When niggas want to look like they working, fam.
That's exactly what it was, fam.
Overkill.
Like, guys, come on.
It's like, mans was told there was an ant in the house and went to get a shotgun. It's like, yo, it's not that serious.
Just like a blowtorch or
you know?
shit.
To burn the house down. Shit. Like, no, there was a spider in the house. It's like,
yo, we're trying to clean up the house. Like,
rubbish.
Nah,
look, all I'm saying is overkill.
Investigations.
Yeah, overkill. Just investigate the grade 9. That's it. All right, and don't even take too long.
Yeah, I mean, you know preparing for an exam, you know what I mean? Like you have to like prepare your mind, like all that preparation that goes into that, and then the next thing you hear is,
you won't be writing.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It throws you off your game.
Yeah,
definitely throws you off your game.
You know, like if you were on a roll, then now it's just like kind of throws you off a little bit. So
it does, totally does.
Yeah, you kind of mess it up for the kids, man. Come on.
So, just relax, man.
I would think they would have backup papers for this, though. Because I remember, like, they should, you know? It's like if one paper leaks, give the secondary paper, the one that's your backup plan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because they always did that.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, like, in our year, geography leaked.
Yeah.
And they found out. They literally brought the papers... You know, the police came with the stuff, unloaded it, and they opened it in front of everybody.
There you go.
It's like, this is the new one. The one that you studied last night. It's
not there.
It's null and void.
Yeah.
Literally saw guys and
give
just
teacher
like,
gives evil laugh. Evil teacher laugh.
I know, right?
Evil teacher laugh. This is like, it's crazy. For me, it was too much. Yeah. You're not gonna stop exams for 3 grades. Just because one paper leaked.
Yeah,
it's too much overkill, man. Like,
I don't know. I don't even think it's the most important one. Like, if it was grade 12, you'd be like, okay, we got a big problem.
Yes.
You know, but then again, it happens every year.
Because those are the same results that people use to get into college and all of these different things.
Yeah,
so if,
that's the important one.
If you cheated your way into getting into a college, then that's a problem.
You have a bad doctor. You have a bad nurse.
Exactly.
A bad teacher. You know, all of that shit.
You know, and we have a lot of those.
Oh, a shitload of them.
Yeah, so that should go to saying something about leakages.
Yeah. And speaking of these academic, you know,
places,
problems and all that shit, it only got revealed recently that Zambian universities have been downgraded to college status by Oxford.
Yeah.
So if you want to get admitted into Oxford, you have to study at a higher institution, or an institution that is recognized as a university. And we're not at that stage.
Not
here.
at all.
So you have to go to South Africa or Namibia or something.
Yeah, somewhere else.
Yeah, for you to be able to be admitted there. So
it's funny because okay, it's not funny because how many universities have been popping up?
it's quite a shitload right now, man.
Because it's like you could have places that are, you know, I don't know, the rooms are not even big enough. And I'm like, tiny little rooms, and you're like, University of Chakuti.
Yeah.
You know how they get two names, you know, Maggie and Chola. You know, so it's Macho University. And you're like,
become macho.
yeah, it's just like, it's just around the corner. It's a dingy looking place. It's like, how did this place get certified as a university?
Yeah.
Because there should be like people who look into that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is where you
know that the system is flawed. Like, who are these people that are allowing universities to just open? Like, you need to be able to vet this, place. Like, a university needs to have labs, for example. You know what I mean?
Standard.
Yeah. Like, there's.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It should be a standard, because it's like, even if you Google the community university in the United States and you look at the infrastructure alone, infrastructure alone is just absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
You have universities here. There are few that are popping up that you see. It's like, okay, these guys are putting in work. DMI, St. Eugene, Cavendish.
Yeah.
You can see it's like, okay, they even started small, but they keep on expanding and growing and improving the infrastructure, improving the lecturers and all of those different things.
Yeah.
But some of these little dingy places you call universities, you wouldn't even be proud to have a people from there.
True.
Honestly speaking,
they'll be like, "Wait, what place?
What
is
this?
Macho University?
Macho
what
University.
do they teach there? Weights?
Because it's like then it's like you have this university. Who's your lecturer? And how much is that lecturer being paid?
Exactly.
Because lecturers are not just, the whole thing of just, you're gonna get the best student from last semester who graduated as the best student, and then he's gonna be the lecturer. That's absolute nonsense.
Yeah.
Because some of these things need people who have been tried and tested and are real professionals at the highest level, basically. Highest level.
Straight.
So if somebody is gonna come through and talk to you about insurance, it's like, I'm managing director at so and so. A formidable place that has been doing it for the past 25 years, and I've been there for 19 years. Then I want to hear what you have to say about insurance.
Yeah.
All right?
It's true.
I mean, this to my Mongolo universities that are popping up from everywhere. And then, again, with even places like Unza, Evelyn Hon, some places you don't see them progressing, like Evelyn Hon.
Yeah.
You don't see the progression in... we're doing rehabilitation work, we're doing this and we're doing that. There's nothing.
All they do is paint the walls, and that's the progress that they're making.
It's gonna be downgraded.
Yeah. So certain things that were cited were, political interference, all of those things. It's like, how many times does UNZA close in a year?
Yeah.
That affects the quality of the students that you're producing, because it's like, if you only learned quite a few times compared to a place where it's every day or every 6 times a week, like throughout the semester, like you're not gonna produce the same level. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like when Minister of Higher Education Kandaloa decided, let's close down UNZA.
Oh man.
And she decided to close down UNZA, and she was like, I don't know when it's gonna open. Because she was mad. You know what I mean? It's like, you're upset, so people's futures are on hold because you mad.
Straight. It's like, I don't know why ministers like to do that. It's the same with Iris's dad.
Yeah.
What's his name? Michael? Is that his name? Michael, right?
Kaingo.
Yes. Yeah. He was Minister of Education at some point, and he closed the school because people had rioted and stuff. It's like, why? Why is that the first thing you have to do?
I'll tell you why. Because they're not affected.
That's true.
Because they're not affected. Because their kids are not at UNZA.
That's true.
Your kids are not at UNZA. Their kids, ministers' kids are not at UNZA. They're out of the country studying.
Yeah.
So, like, what does he care? What does he care that a guy comes all the way from Zamfia, you know, and decides, you know what, let's close it. And then the guy has to think about, I didn't plan to have transport to go back.
Bro.
All of those things.
Yeah.
And then when coming back again, you have to think about that. It's like, you don't know. It's just like, I could go back tomorrow. I could go back tomorrow. Somebody could wake up and decide, it's like, okay, we're going to be closed for 3 months.
Yeah.
Then what happens to what you were learning?
Exactly.
All of those things.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's wild. Which also brings us to the point, you know, that you brought up before we started about
so it was a headline when I was on radio today in the morning. It was a headline that 12 million kwacha of bursary money was actually paid out to people who were not part of the database.
Okay, so let's try and understand this. Let's try and understand this shit.
Number one, let's keep in mind, there's a database, right?
There's a database. So they have people who they know are supposed to get this money.
Yes.
And then the money didn't go to them. It went to people who weren't on the list.
No.
So it's like a company has a list of their employees who they're supposed to pay at the end of the month. And then time to pay.
Yes.
And then other people get paid?
Yes. It's kind of like how you have the situation of ghost workers.
Yeah, you know, in government. Yeah.
So basically what those are ghost students.
Wow. So they're not real.
I don't know if they're real.
Or they're like
they're real. They are
they there or have they left?
That's the thing.
And
those are the
somebody's
details
just
we need to find out. But this was in the Auditor General's report.
Damn.
Said 12 million went out, but it didn't go to the people in the database.
Wow.
Okay, now this is at CBU. Keep in mind. All right.
You see why we get downgraded, man. This is why we're getting downgraded, man.
12 million kwacha went.
Shit.
But it didn't go to the people in the database.
That's over $1 million.
Yes. So think about that for a second. So where did that money go? Who has it? Is it like old students who left and they left 5 years ago, but they're still getting that bursary money? Like you still show up for a class once in a while. You know, it's like just to show face. It's like you know, and then it's like it gets to my bursary money, and you wonder like who are these people?
Yeah. No,
but
clearly
12 million.
Yeah.
12 million kwacha, that's a lot of money. Imagine what if you gave 12 million kwacha to CBUs, that boom, use it.
Oh yeah.
How much can be done? How much books can be, you know, how many books?
Assuming there are no corrupt people there.
Yeah, well, obviously, you know, there's a large percentage which will be. But basically, corruption goes down to the same thing we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
12 million kwacha is gone.
Shit.
And it's sort of like, look, you have a list, right? You have a list of invited guests to your party, right? And then people are full inside, and then you can come there, it's like, no, we're full.
We just want the gate crashers.
Yeah. So,
let the gate crashers into the party.
The people who are on the list are like outside, but your party is full. How's that possible?
That's some nuts shit, man. God damn.
It's absolute bananas. So Zambia does it again, basically.
Again.
Zambia does it again, and they get a gold star, right?
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing. When are we just going to put a stump on this for it to stop growing? You know, like, how is it that the only president that really was like, yo, fuck it, corruption, we're like putting a stance, like, you know, making sure that funds go where they're supposed to go and stuff.
Yeah.
Last person that really was open about it was Monawasa.
Late President Monawasa.
And that's why he's legendary. Like, he's left a serious legacy.
Yes.
You know.
Look, everybody who's been president, all right, has a legacy. In Zambia anyway. Okay? Kenneth Kaunda is known. Independence.
Yeah.
That's our founding father.
Yeah.
More or less. After that, Chiluba.
Yeah.
Chiluba, privatization.
Privatization.
All these buses, anybody can open up a business and open it and run it and all of those different things. That's what it's known for.
Yeah.
Okay? After that came Monawasa. Right? Monawasa.
Corruption.
He was zero tolerance on corruption.
Straight. And he achieved it to a certain extent.
To a certain extent.
I mean, there's still there's still a little bit going on. Like there's
a lot of it going on.
Yeah.
Then there was a little bit going on, but like it was.
He stopped
scary.
it at the top. You know what I mean?
Yes, it was scary to kind of bribe people.
Yeah, because you don't know.
Yes, because you don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give you an example of an institution that was incorruptible. That was Ratza. Ratza were known as the devil because you couldn't pay him off because he was already making good money.
Yeah.
Ratza officer stops you, it's a problem.
Yeah.
But
is it the same anymore?
It's not the same because it's like now they get paid. I'm sure they still get good money, but
okay, is this of an experience you had? Did you get stopped and you paid somebody?
No, they're corrupt. But like, it's like you can easily buy a license. Where do you buy a license? You buy a license at Ratza, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. People buy licenses all the time. It's like, if I fail the next 2 times, I'm just buying one. It's as easy as that. Wow. People say that casually, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for things like that, and then after Mwana Wasa came Michael Chilufya-Sata. Michael Chilufya-Sata was all about taxes. We have too many taxes. We have too many taxes. And then after he passed away, we have a current president. We don't know what
you passed Rupiah though.
Oh yeah, Rupiah didn't know what he was doing because he was just gotten from the village.
So he doesn't have a legacy?
He doesn't have a legacy. What's his legacy? Oh, he made MMD lollipops
and condoms. No.
There were condoms?
I think I heard those.
I don't know about those. I don't know about condoms. I know about lollipops. I know they had lollipops and all of that. I think even boxes or something like that. Boxes. I know that.
Like, who's gonna wear a Rupiah Banda branded
MMD loyalists? These guys when they're like 100%.
Like, which girl is gonna be like, okay, like,
give me some of that MMD.
Give me some of that MMD.
Oh man,
pee on me like that monkey.
Yeah, pee on me. Can you tune in?
Slaps me.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So we're not even gonna talk about Rupiah Banda. Rupiah Banda was, just guys.
Yeah, he's one of the. I mean, he was able to. One thing I could say is he's the one that was able to sort of successfully continue the programs that Mwana Wasa had implemented.
Yeah. No,
so that's you can give him credit for that.
Give him credit for that.
That's what our current president was supposed to do.
Yeah,
with Michael, with the late Michael Sata, but
yes,
I think he started a little bit.
He's just doing his own thing now.
He just started, just free throws, like
he's
whether
doing his own thing.
Whether they go into the hoop,
we don't know. We don't know what he's doing.
It's like LeBron,
because it's kind of like what somebody said. It's like the only time we hear from the president is when he's going out of the country,
and they ask him
coming back.
A question before he gets onto the plane.
So it's like, is it the plane? Does the plane make him want to talk? So maybe we should just have a plane at State House. Maybe that will make him like, oh, plane. So what we're doing as a country is.
Oh man, he's got a thing for planes.
Zambians are full of crap, man. Yo,
that's why he's getting himself that presidential jet.
Probably
trying to speak
maybe
more to the
be
people.
A little bit more vocal. Now he looks at that plane that he gets on and he's like, I ain't got shit to say. I ain't got nothing to say. I got nothing to say to you, nigga. Give me my plane, bro.
Yo, man, this is some serious shit, man. It's like seeing the silver lining.
Yeah, bro.
On the clouds.
The hecticness. Anyway, I don't even know where I was going with that.
I think you were going through the legacies of the different presidents.
Yeah. So the legacy of this current president, I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know what he's going to be known for. Because
we kind of already know.
And that's what I was saying. I think my bottom line was going to be, even for the leaders, for whatever it is that you do, it's like, what are you going to be known for?
Yeah.
What legacy you're going to leave behind, especially for people like presidents, because a president, it's like, look, 10 years, that's it. So it's like, in 10 years, make your legacy. it's crazy. A lot of people have a lifetime to do it. But when you run for office, is somebody telling you it's like in 10 years, make your legacy. Barack Obama is good for the rest of his life because he's got a legacy.
He'll never you know, he's good. He's good for life, like you said.
He's good.
Yeah, he can write a book. He can become anything he wants.
Exactly.
Because of the foundation that he laid, you know, with being president of the United States.
So for me, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's even for some of the greatest rappers. I have this conversation all the time. It's like when you see some of the people who become really great, it's not just about money. They can make money, you know, but like in terms of living a legacy, that's where you see people like Kendrick Lamar going hard. You know, Eminem. It's like, look, it's like I have the money, so it's not just about the money. I want to be like, yo, greatest rapper, Tupac, Biggie, Kendrick. That's what they want.
Yeah.
They have the money. The money is already there. So it's kind of like if our Zambian leaders could emulate that and be like, yo, let me live a legacy. Like, when people say Nelson Mandela, you know.
Yeah.
When people say, it's like, it should be just like when people say Edgar Lungu, you should be like, when people say Mwana, I say, that's that zero corruption guy from Zambia.
Yeah.
That should be the thing. Because then people will always want to associate with you. Anytime there's a speech about corruption, you will be cold. Because that's your legacy and that's what you're known for.
That's true. There you go.
There you go, man.
Sometimes Fanatik makes sense, man. It's very.
Make a lot of sense.
I wish this would be a thing.
Make a lot of sense. Make a lot of sense a lot of times. So, niggas ain't just listening right. Rubbish.
So this week, we had independence. I'm not even gonna say celebrated because it's like, I don't know. I remember back in the day, like we're like 54 years into our independence from British
colonial rule.
Yeah, basically, and I'm like, I don't think we appreciate it anymore. Like being. I don't see anybody being emphatic about it. Like, so like that's why I was like, have we lost the meaning of what independence is? Because like way back, people would go to like the Freedom Statue and go to check out the museum and all of that, like on Independence Day, like you see the jets flying in the air and shit, you know what I mean? And
we
it's
don't have jets anymore.
I think
we only have 2, by the way.
Really?
Sorry.
What happened to the third one? Or is it the fourth? I don't know. There were like 4 of them that fly.
Don't take me seriously, no boy. But like, there used to be like 4 at some point.
Yeah.
And they used to fly with Zambian colors and it's like, all of that. And then after that, the money just started becoming less. And then it's like they would fly over and it was just the white smoke.
We don't have money for ink.
And then after
Did they steal that money?
Probably.
They stole the ink money.
And then after that, it was like 3 jets and they would fly by and no smoke behind, and then just 2, and then guys. So in my mind, you know what I think? I think Zambia Army only has 2 jets.
Really?
That's what I think. I think we only have 2 jets. Like if we are at war, we'd fly those 2 jets.
I think we have a few jets, bro. Shut up.
Nah,
we're just like I'm not gonna use gas.
Look,
gas is expensive.
Think
man.
about it, Chromes. Think about it. If one fire truck costs $1 million US, how much does a fighter jet cost?
Damn. In Zambian terms?
In
Zambian terms?
Yes, it's probably going to be like $7 trillion US.
Probably.
And then buy 3 of those? Come on.
We can't even afford that.
We can't afford that. As a country.
We can't.
We can't afford it. The whole country can afford that.
No, we can't afford that shit.
You could sell each one of us for $1 and you still wouldn't come up with that money.
So somebody had put up something that was really interesting. It's like, I think it was Bandage that put this up, and he was basically like, I don't know if you saw this. He was like, independence means being free from, like basically you're able to exist on your own. Like your economy is free. You don't need people to, you're economically free. Everything. Like, there's freedom of speech. There's everything. You know what I mean? But like, is Zambia, are we really independent when you look at it? You know what I mean?
We're not independent.
It's like we got, the Chinese buying everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? like in the press, people just can't say whatever they want to say without, you know, being harassed, or then we're getting spied on and all of that. Like, you know, there's that Pegasus thing that, you know, we don't know if they're listening to us right now, that type of shit, you know what I mean? So it's like, that's what, and he was like, this is why I'm not celebrating independence, because it's like, look, our economy is not free. We as a people are not free to even speak our minds to our leaders. They're supposed to listen to us. And when you speak out, it's a problem for them. Because they think you're supporting the opposition. Because we have this thing here, it's like, if I speak out against something the president did, automatically it's like,
the opposition.
You're fucking with HH. If I speak against
or you're sponsored by him.
You know, it's the same thing with if you agree with something that HH says, then you don't agree with the ruling party or something like that. You know, and then I'm just like, maybe, you know, it made a lot of sense, and I'm like, maybe that's why we just don't really care about the date anymore.
Absolutely.
You know,
I don't give a damn about it. Look, I give a damn. I give a damn to the extent of I appreciate and I am respectful towards the people who fought for independence, who died trying to get independence, you know, and people who advocated for that. All right? But independence from the colonial masters wasn't just independence and that's it. Okay, it was just like, okay, look, we this is what you want to do in our country. This is what we want to do. So we're separating, and this is what we're doing. We're taking lead of our own destiny. All right, we're doing our own thing. But currently, we're not doing our own thing.
No, not at all.
we used to moan and bitch around about, IMF. If the IMF wants to give you money, they have all of these conditions. They'll tell you where to spend your money. So we don't want that type of money. We don't want World Bank money. We used to make noise about that. It's like, oh no, we can't take development here because they want their money here. You know, we can't take money to agriculture. They want it in whatever else. And we used to make noise about that. But it's exactly what's happening with the Chinese. But the thing is, with the Chinese is they're oiling politicians' pockets a lot more than the IMF. Because the IMF is not going to be like, one development program's here, and by the way, here's $1 million just for you. You know what I mean? Yeah, true. They don't do that.
No, nobody does that.
So it's not fun to do business with the IMF and the World Bank. All right, it brings development in certain areas, okay, and keep in mind it's not perfect. It's not a perfect deal or whatever it is. But the Chinese deal is more beneficial to the individual politician. It's like, here's a loan, and you know you're gonna give me this, all right, but okay, here's something for your pocket too. So you're not independent. You're still not doing the things that you want to do. So what am I celebrating as Fanatik?
Straight.
It doesn't make sense.
And I know our leaders are coming out and saying, you know, what did the president say? He said something to the effect of like, you need to liberate yourselves, like be able to, you know, like be independent financially and stuff. But like, we understand that, and that like that goes without saying. But if the playing field it's not viable for you, it's like the soil isn't fertile. There's not a lot of money in circulation. It's like that makes business difficult. You know what I mean? When the dollar goes up, prices go up.
Everything has gone up.
And then people's wages are still the same. So it's like,
what am I independent about? How? Exactly. I'm not independent. You want to come, you know, one thing that people usually say is like, a car is not just a car is independence. All right? Because independence will let you, it's like, look, if you don't have a car, you have to think about, it's like, damn. I have a friend in Chongwe. I'd like to go see that friend in Chongwe. But I can't go because transport, all of these different things I have to, you know. But if I have a car, I could just get in the car and go to Chongwe and boom, done. I'm in Chongwe. That's independence. You made a decision and you went to Chongwe and you came back home. Independence. Straight. All right? We're not doing that. We're not there as Zambians. I don't know how many people can just be like, it's like, okay, look, I feel like I got money and I feel like buying a TV. I should buy a TV. and you wake up in the morning and thinking of buying a TV, and you buy the TV in the afternoon and put it in your house.
Yeah.
All right. There's certain people who are like that, obviously working legit and all of that. But like the most people, the flashiest people, the people with the most money, are the politicians.
Yep, that is no secret.
It's the politicians.
They're the ones who are able to have that are able to make those kind of decisions where they want a loan. You know,
they can call the bank, and the bank will come to their house on a Sunday. It's as simple as that.
Straight.
You know?
So let's talk about General Kanene.
General Kanene is a douchebag.
So here's the thing: he's free now.
Yes, he's free. He's out.
They let him go. But let's discuss what he got in there for.
I feel like that his free now should be inserted with a Jaws. You know what I mean? Instrumental.
You're full of shit.
Like, just insert Jaws right there. It's like, yo.
Oh, man. Okay, so I'm trying to find the story here. All right, so originally he was arrested. I believe this was on when was the 25th? On Thursday, right?
Yeah.
He got arrested for indecent assault, and this is because he was seen. It was reported that he had touched a woman's breasts and buttocks without her consent. Repeatedly, right? And this actually happened to be like a reporter or something to that effect. A 26-year-old victim, and then it got updated because they were like the CCTV footage that shows that this actually wasn't the case. Right. So now he's been released.
He's been released.
Yeah, because of the CCTV footage that came out showing that he didn't really do what was originally reported. So let's not forget that 2015 he got arrested and was charged for
defilement.
Yeah, basically sleeping with an underage person who was age 14. He was charged with he was sentenced to 18 years.
Yes.
And I think he only spent like a year, and then the president let him free.
Pardoned him.
They pardoned him.
Presidential pardon.
And then he was made an ambassador for children and women's rights.
Women's rights, yes.
And then this nigga, man, first thing he does, he goes and beats a woman up.
Yeah. First thing
he went and beat up his wife.
Yes. That's the first thing
right after he got out.
Right after he got out.
And he tried to deny this, but we have, Hugh, our homie Hugh. He knows the woman that got beat up.
Yeah.
And he confirmed the story. This motherfucker really did go there and do this. So it's why wasn't he locked up after he did that? Isn't there a period of time where you have to behave a certain way?
Because it was the ambassador.
So does that take away the fact that aren't you on probation when you get out of jail?
Does Zambia have probation?
We need it. If we don't,
yeah. So it's have you ever bumped into a probation officer?
Nah.
Have you ever just oh, okay, yeah, you're having drinks. It's oh, there's my friend Joe. He's a probation officer. So it's oh, yeah. So you check random checks on guys if they're home, if they're staying sober, if whatever.
Niggas don't have time for that here.
When you're out, you're out.
Do we have ankle bracelets here?
You could, no.
Can we afford them?
No. We only have 2 jets. Pay attention.
Nigga, you still you're really jets. Running with this 2 jet story.
We have 2 jets in Zambia. All right, we don't have time for ankle bracelets. All right, so look, this is something that's when you're out, you could be a hardcore criminal, repeat offender, and be out on the streets tomorrow and commit a crime the same day. Yeah. And if you don't get caught, then you don't get caught. Yeah. You could go back to what you were doing. There's no monitoring at all. At all.
That's crazy.
It's just your conscience will monitor you. It's do you want to go back to prison? Do you want to go back? Really? Think about it now. That's your probation officer. Yeah. But if you're one of those who has that, fuck it attitude, then it's gonna be what it's gonna be. You're gonna go back to the same stuff. So
do we then just completely discredit the woman's story because she said that this man did this shit?
I think he was definitely touching her breasts and her boobs. Her breasts and her buttocks. Breasts and her buttocks.
Breasts and her boobs.
Yeah. It's probably she got a little extra. That's why he was so attracted.
Wow.
But the thing is, it's like, look, people like this, like General Kanene, he should have stayed in prison.
The Zambian Tupac. That's what he calls himself.
Yeah, really.
Because he rapped over. I don't know if you call that rap, but he had a song with that Changes beat.
Look, he should have stayed in prison. That's my 2 cents. I stand by that, okay? And he should have just stayed. Because there are people who've been to prison before, right? Wrongfully and all of that, because he's tried to justify that whole situation. It's like, oh no, she's been having sex with a whole bunch of other people. In his songs, he's basically tried to say that. It's like,
oh, for real?
Yeah, I mean that whole song is like talking about a size whatever shoe can a size 10 foot fit in a size 7 shoe.
Oh yeah, I remember that record.
All of those subs basically talking about that whole same situation. It's like, look, she's been doing this before. I know this.
Yeah,
but that doesn't still take away from the fact that you did it and you got caught. If you're the one who got caught, then it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's annoying because there are people who commit crimes and do bad things. And then they come out and they're remorseful about what they did. He's never shown remorse at all.
Never.
So, throw him back. Please.
I'm just curious as to why he was pardoned. Because the charge that he caught was very serious.
Yeah.
And how you know it was serious is because of the amount of years that he was sentenced to.
But
18 years.
You remember there was a time when I don't know who was pardoned or which people were pardoned, but like the president once pardoned, like I think it was on Africa Freedom Day, like a whole bunch of people. And we were saying, it's like, what's the criteria for pardoning these individuals? And then it's like, oh no, it's not the president who just wakes up and decides, oh, this one. There's actually a board of people or a number of people or committee or whatever that monitors these people, and these people are sent as suggestions.
That's the way
to
it
the
should
president.
work.
So I don't know who suggested.
But this wasn't like a bunch of people. He was pardoned on his own. Did he come up with a bunch of people?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't remember too, but
yeah, I mean because it's like it was mostly just him. He's
the one that
Yeah.
But then like when you're gonna make someone an ambassador, you should probably look at their history and look at like what have they done for them to earn that. But I do kind of understand. It's like in school, I remember like in my I think like 8th grade, like we had this dude. We were told this story about this one dude who was like a problem in school. And so what the teachers had decided was to make him one of the like prefects in the school, so that he would take up responsibility and that could help him change his behavior. And it worked. Yeah. But in a situation like this, like is that the logic that comes up with that? Because like, okay, great, there's pardoning. That's one thing. But him being made an ambassador, that to me looks like he kind of had a hand in letting the guy out. It's like they let him out and then immediately he becomes an ambassador for And then this is after we heard a song that he put out where he was praising the president.
Yeah, the government and the president,
Not to say it has anything to do with anything, but
but use your brain and put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah. 1 + 1 adds up to something.
Sometimes 1 + 1 does add up to something, and you're just like, oh, what? Number 2? Shit.
Goddamn.
Shit. That's what it is. I mean, look, General Kanene doesn't show remorse. He doesn't show remorse at all.
No.
Okay? He could have taken his responsibility as a youth ambassador for, youth and women's ambassadors seriously.
Women and children's rights.
Yeah, whatever it is. Okay? This post that just become created because of it needs to be created. To me, in my head, I'm blech. And then he could have taken that stuff seriously. All right, and this is where people fail to see their opportunities and their blessings. Because if the highest office in the country gives you a job.
Yeah.
The highest office. Okay? B-Flow, right now, is flying around from country to country because of what Barack Obama said about it.
True.
Nothing more, nothing less. How many people went to that Mandela Washington Fellowship? Some of them, we don't even know about them. We don't even care about them.
That's true.
But like, because Barack Obama said something, it's like, oh, this guy.
Brian Wembiya.
Yeah. He's doing this in his country. And that was it. Sit down. It wasn't like, oh yeah, this guy is my guy. It's going to be the next big thing or whatever.
Just the mention and that was it.
Just the mention and that was it.
Yeah.
So for something like this, he could have gone that with
You're so right.
USAID, UN, whatever, children's rights, all of those different things.
He could have milked
that cow for what it's worth. To this day, that dude would still have been eating. Instead, he's drinking at a bar, touching some woman's breast who's waiting for her food.
Oh, man.
This nigga's a douchebag.
Yeah. He is, though. Period. He's an asshole.
Yeah.
And police say they're still doing investigations.
Okay.
But we know what that means in this in this country.
Yeah.
They're just sitting down and just, I just story.
TIA. This is Africa, bro.
This is Africa.
This is Africa. And one of the stories that caught my attention this week, I was sitting down and I was watching CNN. And there was a story about Nigeria. I was watching Inside Africa.
Yeah.
And there was a story about Nigeria that said that by 2050, Nigeria is going to be the third most populated country in the world.
This is what, after China and India?
Yeah. They're going to have more people in Nigeria than the United States right now.
What?
Yeah. By 2050, it will be the third most populated country in the world. Keep in mind.
Oh,
I think China is on over 1 billion. India is over 1 billion. All right?
Yeah. In those realms.
So if Nigeria is anything to go by, they're going to be around that same spectrum by that time.
Because it's fucking out there, man.
Yeah.
God damn.
Nigerians are doing the most. Nigerians are doing the most.
That is crazy. That's a crazy statistic. 2050 is not too far away from now.
Not at all. This is 2018, bro.
Are we going to be alive by then?
Yes.
You think so?
It's 2050.
Yeah.
It's not too far.
Not too far.
It's 2050. I mean, I don't know about you. I think I still got 50 years under my belt, bro. We'll be podcasting
under your belt?
Under my belt. Full of crap. You always have to go.
You'll be fucking at 90. Is that what you're saying?
It's possible. Hey, it's possible with this technological advances. Could have had probably a penis and ball sack replacement.
Like a 25-year-old.
25-year-old. 25-year-old is like, everything else
90.
is slow. But like, down here.
Hey, I just lay on my back. Do your thing, girl.
I give you that 25-year-old something.
I have experience, baby girl.
It's like, look, I'm 90, but my penis is 25. How old are you?
It's so full of shit. So
aside from the rubbish, anyway,
Nigeria's population right now, I'm looking at the stats, and it's like 190.9 million.
Yeah.
And this is of 2017, their most recent census. So
think about the amount of sex that's going to be had between now and 2050.
So are they projecting the amount of sex that's about to be had?
Yeah.
Or
probably.
Are they going about? I guess they're going with the amount of sex going on right now.
Right now.
And if it continues, then there's going to be a shitload. Now that's a problem for the world. Because
that's a problem for the world.
Nigerians don't have the best reputation.
No,
more Nigerians means more spam emails.
Like there was
more fake Jordans.
Yeah. There was somebody who
I love you, Nigeria.
There was somebody who was saying it's like she's Zambian and she was in the UK, right? And she obviously had a clique of African friends, right? And the majority of them, I think, were Nigerian. But apparently, every time they wanted to call for a cab, they always had to use the Zambian the Zambian person.
Oh, for real?
It's like, yo, you need to call the cab. It's like, yo, why can't you call the cab? It's like, no, they'll hear my accent and nobody is gonna come through. It's kind of like getting a cab in New York and you're black, all right?
Yeah.
So it's like if you're calling for a cab and you have like a Nigerian accent, nobody's gonna pick you up.
Oh,
so they used to use the Zambian chick because she was well spoken and whatever it is, and you couldn't really pick the accent. So the taxi would show up, and then she jumps in and is like with a bunch of Nigerians. And it's like, oh shit, Nigerians! Damn it, I got tricked.
So the best thing for a Nigerian to do is to get a proper, like a different accent.
Yeah.
And not speak like Jan.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, then that's
that
gonna
would
be
not
wild.
get you a cab. It's crazy. It's crazy. So
what are they gonna do? Like what?
Look,
like
for me, I had a couple of questions.
that's
like,
crazy. I don't know if Nigeria is able to handle that.
No,
kind
they
of
can't.
population.
They cannot. Because we used to do research a lot on a little segment we used to do back on radio. And do you know that out of the Nigeria is one of the highest producers of oil. All right. But do you know that the amount of oil that's produced in Nigeria, okay, 85% of it, if I'm not mistaken, maybe
It's fake?
the stats of it, the stats of it might have changed because this is probably 5 years ago. 85% of the oil that's produced there, all right, and the money that comes from the oil produced is misappropriated. 85%.
85%.
Yes.
So who's appropriating this? The government?
The government.
Oh God.
Oil you know what I mean? Like the oil, it doesn't get. It's not reinvested. It doesn't go back to the people. It doesn't get down to the grassroots.
Wow.
So 85% is probably government chowed up somewhere, and it doesn't get down to the people that really need it. So think about that. So now
corruption is a scourge, man.
Yeah, so think about that and the numbers in 2050.
Damn. That's crazy.
Right. Because it's almost like, look, we have one loaf of bread and there's 7 people in the house and all of us gotta eat. Right?
Yeah.
And then we're saying it's like, look, hypothetically speaking, in the next 20 years, there's going to be 25 of us, but there's still going to be one loaf of bread. What do you think is going to be happening then?
They guys will start killing each other, man.
Kill each other. That's more chaos, more, you know.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. It's absolutely bananas. And I was saying, it's like, what is it about Africans? What's leading to this? And some of the things that were brought up during the report when they were speaking to people is like, why are Nigerians, why is the population, popping up like this? It's like, oh, number one, they're polygamists. Number two,
that makes sense.
Yeah, they still have like 9-10 children in Nigeria.
Oh, really? Like the stuff that used to happen here in Zambia, back in the 90s and 80s, 70s,
Yeah. So they still do that over that side.
Like 10 kids.
Yeah.
For Mr. Okoye.
Yes. And there's just the stigma against contraceptives.
Like condoms,
pills, whatever it is.
And needles and stuff.
Whatever it is, as long as it's contraceptives, they don't want to mess with it.
Damn.
So I don't know, is that an African problem?
Wrong.
Because it's like people in Zambia also don't like wearing condoms.
How do you know that?
Because I know guys. I know guys. Guys don't like putting on rubbers.
That's a hell of a statistic, fam. Like who are you? Who are your test subjects?
How many people do you know got babies right now? Let's even go under 27.
Under 27.
How many girls do you know who got babies?
Wow, there's a few. There's quite a lot, actually.
Yeah. Almost. How many of your 25-year-old females, 27-year-old females, or even let me just say below 30, got no kids?
It's few, man. There's a lot of single mothers out here.
There's a lot of single mothers out here.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
So what? That comes from wearing condoms?
Condoms breaking. Nigga wore it. Friction was just too wild.
Society for Family Health would not be here. Somebody would have gotten sued by now.
Yo, those government condoms break all the fucking time, bro.
Really?
Yep.
How do you know this?
Because I use them.
You use them and they break all the time?
I used them.
You used them.
No, I'm joking. I never used them before. What you talking about? I never used them before. This is people that I know that have told me.
They've told you.
Yes.
They were telling us like, oh yeah, the condom broke.
Yeah, it gets hot and then
which one is
breaks.
it? Which one is it? It's like, yeah, is that what, maximum?
No, I don't think those are government condoms. The ones that are like...
I was talking about Society for Family Health. Society for Family Health, maximum.
But yeah, those break too.
Those break too?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What doesn't break?
Rough Riders.
Rough Riders doesn't break?
Yeah,
there was. Even here in Zambia, there was a problem that just like Rough Rider condoms broke a lot at some point.
What the fuck are you doing for a Rough Rider condom to break?
I don't know.
What the fuck are you trying to do? What kind of monkey tricks are you trying to pull?
Look, all I'm saying
That's some
is
crazy shit.
All I'm saying is let's take it back to Unza. There's a time the drainages at Unza were blocked. Lusaka Water Storage went there and they found that it was a bunch of condoms that were blocking the sewage system.
So they were using condoms.
They were using condoms. But maybe now it's not getting blocked because niggas are not using condoms.
That's such a trash analogy, bro. Oh my God.
We need to look into this. Why are the drainages at Unza not getting blocked? With condoms.
Hey, they're closing the university all the time. No time to fuck. Trying to get your shit on. Hey, there's a riot outside, bro.
It's crazy, man.
Run outside with your penis swinging,
but for me, this is one of those situations that you look at and it's like, look, this is Africa.
Yeah.
Africa is it's not one country, but we have similar problems.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
it's something to think about.
Yeah,
it's something
everywhere.
to think
Look,
about.
South Africa is the same thing. Like, what is Zuma being talked about? Like,
Corruption.
he got kicked out because of corruption. Bro. And that trickled down to his kids. Like, that's crazy. Like, if his son is in court, like, because of corruption and stuff. It's like now you start to look at it like, if a leader who's on right now has a kid and they want to get into politics, you're like, we ain't fucking with you.
Yeah.
Because, your dad did this shit. And that's the thing, like the people that are doing all this shit, that's like this whole corrupt stuff. It's like you kind of put your children in, in a bad place where, like, let's say somebody they just trying to do their own thing. They're not trying to get into politics or anything. Like, people might not want to do business with you because, your dad or mom was just like super corrupt. You know what I mean? Like, you're just thinking of yourself.
Rapes the country, basically.
Straight.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, man. So, Nigeria, man, y'all need to slow down a little bit, man. Slow down and let these stats. The third most populated country in the world in 2050?
Yeah, that's just around the corner, bro. That's just around the corner.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So that's what's happening over there in Nigeria. Why do Zambian men hate condoms?
They do.
I think niggas are using condoms,
they do.
Man.
No. I'll give you a proper stat, right? This is a real stat.
Is this a real stat for real?
Yeah, no. You remember the hullabaloo that was there when people were like, oh, you can get circumcised.
By the way, Fanatik has never used hullabaloo in a conversation away from the mics. He's trash.
Yo,
go ahead.
Every time I talk to other people, I use hullabaloo. I just try to dumb it down for Chromez. You know what I mean? My gosh. No, what I was saying is, like, the thing is, when they were saying it's like the whole circumcision campaign came through.
Yeah, get circumcised and you won't catch the disease.
And you reduce the chances of getting STIs, STDs, and AIDS. Mm-hmm. A bunch of men got circumcised because of that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Now, it didn't say it's like you have no chance of getting STIs. Or you have no chance.
I'm pretty sure they read that, but they just decided to take their own narrative.
Yeah, the narrative was like, so if I get this done, I can have sex raw and I won't catch anything.
That's like super dumb, man.
And people went in their droves for that stuff.
Yeah.
It was absolutely bananas.
It's not the only thing you can catch. There's like other shit that you can catch.
Yeah, there's other stuff as well.
Yeah.
So it's for me that proves, like, we don't like condoms. People don't like using condoms. Zambian men hate condoms.
Have you ever used a condom before?
Yeah. A whole bunch.
do you like the feeling of condoms?
Yeah, I mean the difference is subtle. Look, now,
is it though?
Now, people look in this day and age. You remember back in the day, or the condoms of 1970 Chakuti and the condom of today.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, well, whatever. It's like, nigga, you watch freaking AIDS documentaries.
Oh yeah. Wait, I want to hear this shit because I know you weren't fucking in the 70s, bro.
I wasn't even born in the 70s. Exactly. What I'm saying is like, I watched documentaries.
Yeah.
Now they had these super big items and they were actually supposed to be reusable.
Oh,
that was the first one.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, that was the first one. You were supposed to be able to use it a couple of times.
But we know people from the 70s were nasty, though.
Yeah. I mean,
a lot of nastiness went down in the 70s
and
80s,
the 80s. And there was, the AIDS epidemic blew up like crazy during that time.
Yeah.
You know? So, from that time, that condom then, to the condoms now there's like heat, whatever, warmth, chakuti. There's ultra thin. There's a whole bunch of varieties of condoms that you can.
I was just asking questions.
Yeah, So
there's so much you can choose for. Choose the one that works for you.
Choose the one that works for you.
You know what I mean?
You and your girl should figure that out.
Yeah.
And obviously communicate with your partner and see what works for you.
Yeah. Female condoms, there's that option too.
There's that option too, which have never blown up in this country.
They've never blown up?
No, they've never blown up. I mean, Cleo tried to blow them up, but she was the ambassador or something, and then but still nothing, man, nothing.
I just thought you were talking about. I thought you were talking in the literal sense.
Shut up, Coach. Shut up, Coach.
Because male condoms be blowing up all the time.
Do you think Cleo ever carried around? Because she was, I used to hear a couple of adverts about, her advocating for women's condoms.
Cleo, I love you, but she was on the billboard with the condoms thing, and that was the time she was pregnant.
Oh!
So it was like, what are we doing? I was like, the irony.
I guess she's
love you, Cleo, man.
I guess she's a typical hustler, though. She's selling the product, but she ain't using it.
Getting high on your own supply.
She's not getting high on the supply.
I was like, wait a minute, the billboard.
Yeah.
Caladocious was like, fuck that. We're doing this.
Doing the most.
Yeah, man.
Doing the most, man. Absolutely crazy.
All right, so away from condoms and all their trouble. Sad news happened this week, man.
Sad news.
Double HP, South Africa's
hip-hop Pantsula.
I won't even say South African, just African, man. African. This dude influenced a whole generation. One of the first rappers to take Kwaito and mix it with hip-hop and make Motswako. He was the first one,
He was the first one.
He did that.
Motswako, he's the godfather of Motswako.
Then, influencing people like Kulichana, Pro Kid, people like
Casper Vest. Casper was actually part of his crew then.
Yeah.
If you see the early days. Videos, not even the old video. When I say old, it sounds very old. No. But that Bosso song. Bosso came out. Casper is in that video. Yeah. With the ponytail and all of that jazz.
Yeah. So we've lost the legend, man. I mean,
too much.
I remember he came to Zambia and he came to Power FM, did an interview and was still there.
I wasn't there that day, actually. I wasn't working that day.
No, were you at Power at that time?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
That was 2014.
Yeah.
You were there?
Yes.
God damn,
That's when I joined. I wasn't there that day.
Okay. What a day not to be there.
I know, right? I didn't know he was coming.
Hip-hop legend comes through and you're not there.
Imagine.
So he came through, did an interview, and then he showed up to Creejay's show at Times Cafe.
Yeah.
Creejay had a show, one of his early shows. I think that was probably one of his his first solo show.
Yeah.
And people showed up. It was real cool and nice. He came through. We took a picture and I put it up, man. I was super nervous, man. I was like, God damn, Double HP.
Yeah.
So next thing, I was wearing a cap with a weed logo on it, So he was like, yo, you got some of that? And I'm like, nah, I don't, but I know some people who do.
Yeah.
Then I called up some people.
Yeah.
secret record crew, man. Next thing we're in like in a bus, secrets bus, and head over to the studio, and in there, man, the guys are like kicking verses and stuff. Yeah. Like, yo, this guy didn't really know who we were, but we were kicking it with double H fucking P.
There you go.
It's a humble dude. He left his friend at the club, and we went, passing around a joint. Yeah. I don't really smoke weed, but that day, I'm like, yo, that double HP's here. I smoked that night.
When the Romans come to your neighborhood, you do what Romans do.
So we went over to the secret studio. They had like a studio session, just playing him some of the beats that they had. And then I think they had made like a, some day when they were gonna have like a proper studio session, because that was like so like, just random. I remember he went to Taz's studio. They did something there as well.
So good.
So he was just here, just doing. He was just like, making music with a bunch of people and stuff, and it's
spreading love, man.
Yeah, like just a super cool dude, just like positive energy all the way, and then like hearing the fact that a person who seemed so happy and like, he was a well accomplished man, like goes out through suicide like that really broke my heart, man.
Yeah, I mean the fact that he had attempted suicide even
like 3 times before. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Man,
that's crazy. Depression is like, and for me, I feel like, depression is sad in any situation. Suicide is sad in any situation, but it's always, I don't know, I always feel like, damn, the irony. It's like your job was to make other people feel good and feel happy and all of these different things and share emotions and all of that, and you really didn't have that happiness that you talked about.
Yeah.
Maybe it was there momentarily here and there, but like you really didn't have it at the core of you. Robbie Williams is the same thing.
Same
it's like
thing with Robbie Williams,
a comedian. Man.
One of the funniest people.
One of the funniest people out there. Mrs. Doubtfire is still hilarious, classic movie, and all of that. But it's like you make people happy. When people are feeling low and sad, they go watch Robin Williams, and then they are better because of you. But like your medicine couldn't help you.
Yeah,
it's almost like that's almost one of the saddest things ever. It's like the thing that you use to help others doesn't help you.
Yeah.
It's like you pray for people and they get better and you're sick.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
That's crazy.
That's crazy, bro. Yeah. I have to say a big shout out to Mambo Nkazi, Mwila's older brother. All right, he's the first person who hooked me up with Double HP. All right, this is way back in PHI, and he had the original CDs.
Okay,
he was one of the first people out, like, in as far as South African music is concerned. One of the first people. Church Grooves, Oskido, before House was blowing up at all in Zambia. Yeah. He had those albums. You know what I mean? He was the first person who gave me just like, yo, take a listen to this.
Yeah.
Take a listen to this. Like the first Double HP album, second Double HP album. He gave me Proverb. He gave me Pro Kid. I knew a lot of those South African rappers through him, and that's how come I started vibing with it. Double HP especially, he was the first person ever to introduce me to that dude. It's crazy.
So there is a serious conversation that needs to be had about mental health.
Yeah, absolutely.
The African culture, it's very weird because we look at somebody who might be going through that as, I don't know, like, maybe they got demons or something. It's like when you hear that somebody tried to kill themselves, that's like what you think of. It's like, oh, they probably just, and it's like they condemn you for that,
Yeah, they do. They don't try and help you. They condemn you for it. I feel like it's not even just the African culture. It's like a black thing. Like black people. Like even in the United States, like people be like, yo, you're going to see a shrink? You want to talk about your problems?
That's white shit.
We've heard about that. It's in movies, it's in reality shows and all of that, and people just don't take it seriously. It's like, oh, you black. It's like, how are you gonna have mental health problems?
Black people don't have that.
Yeah, like
we went through slavery for 400 years.
Yeah,
it's like,
you know. So for me, it's a general conversation that needs to be had with a lot of people, especially in the black community, like you said. African community even worse.
Yeah.
Because if you try to kill yourself, they're gonna think it's like demons or whatever it is. But you know,
it's like, look, if you try to throw yourself off of like a pole or something, and the police get to you before you do it, you're getting your ass beat.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's like, you wanted to die, now here's
now let's show you.
Yeah, let's show you.
They kick your ass.
Yeah,
it's like,
get close to that. Get close to that and see how you like it.
You never do it again after this. But it's like, that shouldn't be the course of action. The first thing that you should do is really like take somebody, take them to counseling. You know what I mean? Like, have somebody, speak to that person.
There are some people who do it though for, I don't know, maybe it's deeper issues, but it's kind of like the final blow after 1,000, you know, because sometimes people kill themselves over things like, it's like, we hear this all the time on the news sometimes, like, oh, somebody killed themselves because they had an argument with their wife about Tinshima.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, are you really killing yourself because of that Tinshima, or there were other problems?
There were other issues, obviously.
Obviously, you know,
and people make fun of it. It's like, they fought over 5 kwacha.
Yeah.
But is it really the 5 kwacha that they were really like? There's definitely issues deeper than that. You know?
Deeper than that, yeah.
Yeah. So like I'm saying, like this conversation about mental health, like we really need to have this. Like, get like a therapist, like especially with our industry. Excuse me, like creatives, like we're like different from just like
absolutely
like just other people. Like we're giving our lives away, you know, for people, and like that takes a toll. You know,
absolutely.
I remember like I was when I did the TV interview with Vida and Malama. I was like, yo, like our industry, like you need to have somebody you speak to. It might not even be a therapist, like just someone who you're able to speak your mind, and like they won't judge you for how you think.
Absolutely.
Like when somebody comes to you and they say, man, I've been thinking about killing myself.
Yeah.
You know, your reaction, you have to watch how you react to that situation, because you might contribute to taking them to that edge.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's a serious problem. It's like you said, especially with creatives, because it's like the creative industry is our attitudes, our minds, it's different. We are wired differently.
Yeah.
All right. That's how come we can watch what you're watching and the conversation is totally different, and what you're thinking is totally different, because we're wired differently. And like you said, it's very, very important to have somebody who you can talk to about anything, and they will not judge you at all. All right. One of those people I talk to, for me, is like when it gets hectic.
Your pastor
is my pastor.
Because we just kind of know now.
Because
7 episodes in, we know your pastor is like the guy.
Because there's certain things that you go to, and you don't want to hear that holier than thou.
Yeah.
You know, oh, how could you do this? Or how could you do such a thing? It's like, no.
Yeah.
I have people in my life, like my pastors. I even said, it's like, my pastor is an example, but there are people in my life who, even if they tuned you out, now these are people who are older than you, probably more wiser and all of those different things, but even if they told you off, you could be like, okay, yeah, I had that one coming.
Yeah.
I dropped the ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Straight.
And then there are people who, even if they're older than you and wiser than you, and then they say something to you, it's like, oh, you can't do this. It's like, yo, you don't know me like that.
Yeah.
You haven't earned your spot in my life for you to speak to me like this.
Straight.
You understand what I'm saying?
I hear that.
So it's the same thing with me. And when I tell people certain things, like when I tell my pastor this, it's like I get no judgment. I get zero judgment.
Yeah.
All right?
You can speak to me, man.
Yeah, and I do about some shit.
You do.
And then like some of the other stuff, then I'll be like, yo, this young man cannot handle this. You can handle the truth. I take it to higher powers, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you.
So you always need to have that one person. All right.
Yeah.
If you can't have that one person, I don't know, it could be an aunt you respect. You know,
you just never know who's willing to listen.
You never know who's willing to listen. Yeah. I've been that to certain individuals where like you just, because it's like you kind of like I use my pastor as an example where he doesn't judge. Yeah, he doesn't judge people. Yeah, he the weirdest people have been with him and he doesn't judge them. You know, or have sought advice. That's what's up. And I try and reflect that too in my life, because if somebody comes to me and tells me, it's like, oh, young guy or whatever it is, and tells me a deep problem or what I think is a light problem, and it's like, nah, man, don't get stressed out about this. It's like, yeah, you can do this. You just have to continue pushing on. Blah 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 blah. And a week later, I'd be like, yo, Fanatik, I can't believe. Oh, you spent time, or thank you very much for what you said. I've had people walk up to me and told me, it's like, yo, you told me a couple of years ago not to stop believing, and I could be on radio and da 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 da. Or now I'm at comment, you know, and I'm like, oh, for real? Hey, do your thing, man.
So I had a few of those, and it's like, I said that.
Yeah, like, you don't even remember that shit, you know.
I'm like, oh man, okay, great, man, but okay, cool.
You don't even
glad
remember.
You took my advice.
There you go. Yeah.
But yeah, like I remember, like there was one time I was really down, like just emotionally drained. Yeah, you know, and you know the notion around, you know, in society, it's like, you know, a man should always be strong and like nothing should ever like bring you down and whatever. Like you should always be on top of your game and stuff. But like we're all human, right? Absolutely. And like I remember I hit up Tash, Brown Sugar. I was like, yo, dude, like, I am fucked right now. Like, I'm just not feeling this shit, you know? And immediately she was like, yo, like, let's link up, come through to my house, let's chill. And let's talk about it. And, like, you know, went through, and we had, like, this great conversation. Like, I opened up to her, and she gave me, like, she listened. Yeah. And she was able to you know, just, like, give her perspective and stuff. And even though I wasn't going there looking for answers, it was just like, I just need somebody to speak to. Yeah. And just offload this. Maybe you can give me like a different perspective of what's going on in my head. Yeah. And like, you know, I got that. And like, you need to have someone like that. Because like I left that place just feeling a whole lot better. And the next day we went and watched Black Panther together, and you know that just topped it off. You know, it's like, I'm back. So you need somebody like that. Totally. You know, somebody that's able to tell you shit the way it is. Yeah. And also they watch how they talk to you, though. You know what I mean? They know that, you know, words are like a dagger. They can stab you, and they could be scarred for life. You know what I mean? So yeah, you need
120%. Look, so it's especially crazy. Not to downplay, or not to put the gender card, but like it's especially even more crazy for men. All right, because it's like,
no, you have to though.
Yeah, you have to.
From childhood, we're taught you can't cry.
You can't cry.
Yeah, you gotta be a man. Yeah, all the way. But it's like we're human. Like we process emotions almost the same way that. You know, maybe not exactly the same way the opposite sex.
It's not exactly the same way.
It's not the same.
I've been in situations and in positions, and you know, when something tragic happens, and the way my wife processes stuff and the way I process is totally different. To the point where she even thought that it's like, nigga, you heartless.
You didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, but later on, when she sees, it's like, look. Yeah. And it might even pop up later on, because it's like, look, when we're going through something crazy, my immediate reaction is secure everything. Yeah. You know, it might not be necessarily, let's chill, let's cry about this or whatever it is. It's like, it's secure, make sure everything is all good. Make sure everything is all good. It's like, I'm feeling the pain too, but I'm trying to keep everything above board so that we continue with our lives and all of those different things. But I've been to crazy low places, you know what I mean? I've been to places where I've cried and whatever it is. It's like, even my wife, I think she's only seen me cry like twice. You know, like the first time we were just starting dating, and you could see the panic in her face. It's like, boyfriend crying, what do I do? You know what I mean? Like, she had no clue what to do. Damn. It was absolutely crazy, you know? So it was one of those, like, you could tell, like, she's never obviously experienced something like this, you know, when somebody's crying. And I was just tired and stressed, you know, like you said. And I felt comfortable enough at that particular time to be like, I could let her see the side.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah, man.
Being able to get to that point with a life partner where you're free to just be who you are. Like, just bear it all.
100.
You know. So, hey, man, like, there's always this quote that I see going around on the internet, and I think people don't take it serious enough. It's like, yo, be nice. You just don't know what somebody's going through.
That's true.
Like, what's like, don't. Like, yo, like what you're going through sometime, like you have to suppress it a little bit and, you know, be able to look out for the other person, because you just never know. You might be stopping somebody from doing something
true,
crazy.
Man. That's absolutely true.
So yeah, Double HP, man. Rest in peace,
man. One of the greatest, man. One of the greatest icon.
One of the greatest people I've ever met, and just like his music, just absolutely amazing.
I never met him, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's cool. No, that's sad actually, because you could have met him, but you weren't there.
I don't even know what I was doing that day. I think it was an off day or something.
Whatever you were doing, it was irrelevant. Nobody cares. You missed out.
Yeah, Daddy.
Yeah.
It's all good.
All right, man. We gotta get out of here.
Gotta get out of here.
Yeah. Subscribe to the podcast.
Subscribe.
We are on YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, and anywhere else where you get your podcasts.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and then follow us on our socials.
Yeah, one last thing. Big shout out to Christian Chavola. He's in Germany. He's one of our listeners in Germany. He was here, and he's in Germany that side.
For
and
real?
He was like, yo, loving the podcast.
That's
whatever. Because it's like we saw that there was somebody listening in Germany.
Yo, Germany.
Yo.
It's like Russia. I'm like, yo, what's going on? Are we being spied on? But yeah.
Pegasus.
Pegasus.
It was Christian Chavola. Big shout out to you, man.
Yeah, shout out to everyone that's young man, catching up on the podcast. Make sure you recommend it to a friend.
True.
And then also leave a review. You know, when you like what you're listening to, you don't like what you're listening to, go ahead and let us know.
Let us know.
Yeah, so follow us on Twitter. It's Rawcon Podcast. That's RAWPON PODCAST. And then on Instagram, Raw Conversations Podcast. On Facebook, same thing, Raw Conversations with Chromez and Fanatik. Yeah, and then you'll be able to, you know, get updates on the podcast whenever we put them up. Yep. So look out for the next episode. And yeah, we'll be back to talk some more shit next week.